Good evening, one and all. Vampire the Masquerade is a mature game. The views of the characters played in here do not necessarily reflect the views of either the game weaver nor the players of those particular characters. Uh, Viewer discretion is, as always, advised.
Yeah.
Go for it. Recappers. Oh, great recapper.
What a title. So, in our last session of Vampire the Masquerade, Cheshire by Night, we started off with the coterie being on grounds quite close to where the ruins of Eaton Hall currently is, what's left of it. The coterie had recently found themselves finding their way out of possibly what could be hell, or some other just weirdness. When they got out, they found Godson waiting for them, and Godson kind of tried to help them along a little bit. For one, giving Alyssa his coat because Alyssa was naked. It's what happens when you transform into a giant lion beast form and then back into a human.
Mm-hmm.
The coterie just needed to get somewhere safe, collect their thoughts, and Godson helped them out by snapping his fingers. And suddenly they were inside a church. It became very obvious that Michael Godson was in fact the Seraphim. That whole level of angels. Not sure why he's there, or an angel. But he's there. Godson happened to pass some better clothing to Alyssa because walking around in a leather trench coat apparently is not okay. However, walking around in a nun's habit is. Lex kept talking about his escapades with Lucifer Morningstar and his little bit of hell. Although, not really sure it's hell if you're getting what you want out of it.
You get it.
Lex and Elizabeth had a quick chat about the fact that Elizabeth's antediluvian leader of the gangrels happens to be kind of buried in the earth at the moment, which is what she saw when she was down in the labyrinth, hell, maze, whatever it was. We're not entirely sure. Alyssa was kind of rather peeved off with everything that was happening and had taken herself to one side, and the prince had gone over to comfort her, cheer her up a bit. He knew something was up, so he had a bit of a chat. She didn't give anything much away, but she let him know that she wasn't okay. And as she left, she gave him a nice little peck on the forehead, because cute. Lex kind of, whilst this is all happening with Godson, is just shouting at the obscure things like kiss her and stuff like that, and eventually they decide, give him some privacy. So Lex wandered off, and Godson also just up, right, left, just vanished in thin hair. Once Alyssa and the prince had finished talking, they got back with Lex and Elizabeth and decided to go and figure out where exactly they were. Because they were just in a church, but they didn't know exactly where they were. Were they still in Chester, or were they someone else? Turns out they were somewhere else. They were in Doncaster, of all places, which Elizabeth knew, as that used to be her old stomping grounds. Elizabeth decided to take the coterie to the bus station, because from there you can decipher what the date and time is. So as they walked through Doncaster, looking really dodgy in the clothing that they were wearing, Lex regaled his stories of how, he had it off with Lucifer Morningstar, and also dropped into the fact that he knew the prince had had an orgy at the Velvet Glove, which caused Alyssa's rage to rise a little bit. When they got to the bus station, they found out that it was 8:45 p.m. on the 7th of October. The coterie had been missing for 3 to 4 months. Elizabeth decides to take the coterie to the Lazarus Court's office in order to get her bolt key. But they decide that that's not a good idea. By the time they get there, they decide that's not a good idea because there's cameras watching. So Lex tries to make out that they're all on a drunken revelry and tries to kiss the prince, and Alyssa knocks him out because ain't nobody kissing her man.
I forgot about that.
And so the prince ended up carrying him back to the church. And when they got there, Godson was there again. There was a bit more taunting. Alyssa just once again got fed up with all of the taunting and just the life that was happening. So she went in a confessional booth, and Lex found that hilarious and tried to pretend to be a priest essentially and try and get a confession. Arlo dragged him out, and he tells Elizabeth and the prince basically how Arlo's beast, which is now infernal, is working for the Ebon Dragon. And Lex kind of just again tells the prince that he needs to sort out Alyssa. And so him, Elizabeth and Godson all go on a little date to McDonald's, where Godson is paying for food. Thus leaving the prince and Alyssa alone to talk in the confessional. And it started going really well, and they were starting to get somewhere on the talk, and she called him Arlo. Mistakes were made. So, the infernal Arlo turned up. And Alyssa just didn't give him a chance. She instantly just transformed and just went for him. A fight ensued, and they just got their asses handed to them. This infernal Arlo crushed Alyssa's right hand into nothing but a bloody pulp, kicked the living daylights out of her, absolutely ruined the prince in one turn with like 6 punches. He was knocked backwards and dying, and Alyssa, seeing this, ran to him and transformed back into a human, kind of holding on to Excalibur in her left hand, trying to stop him coming any further forward. And she just says to him, "You've made your point, just leave us alone." But Infernals don't have any form of mercy, and he pretty much roundhouse kicked Alyssa into the wall, knocking her out. When Godson, Lex, and Elizabeth all returned to the church, it was just destroyed. Excalibur was driven into the plinth, the lectern, and it was covered in some sort of weird taint. Alyssa and the prince were both crucified to the beams in the ceiling, holding hands, which is kind of romantic, but they were pretty dead, and written in what we can only assume was the prince's blood is, "Names have power, bitches." Elizabeth and Lex both get Alyssa and the prince down, and they only have one go at saving someone, and Elizabeth feeds Alyssa her blood in order to bring her around, but there's no bringing the prince back. Or so we think. Lex, on the other hand, might know something because he used his powers, and his snake told him something, but we don't know that. Lex and Elizabeth leave Alyssa alone for a minute with the body of the prince, and when they're outside, Elizabeth just punches a tree, and it falls right in front of her camera. So again, high priority movement on the go. Elizabeth runs to the cash machine nearby and rips out the wall, bagging about $3,000 worth of cash. And Lex goes in to grab Alyssa. He tries to pull Excalibur out, can't, because he ain't worthy. And then he also accidentally says Arlo's name, and so the building starts to shake. And as they're running off into the night, the building crumbles behind them. And that's where we left off. On holy fuck, he's dead.
So, let us begin. You have just managed to clear the cathedral and are heading off into town centre. The night feels unwelcoming, cold. You're probably not too far away from the first cracking light of dawn, which is starting to cause a little bit of a worry, I imagine, for your one vampire. You estimate you've maybe got hour and a half at most. It's no timepieces on you. You can't tell what time it is. What are we doing? Where are we going? How are we handling this?
How much money do you take, Elizabeth?
Don't worry about money right now, Alex. The most pressing point is getting us into somewhere in darkness.
That's what I mean. How much money do you have? We can quickly go grab somewhere from one. You know this place. It must be like a hotel or
Yes.
something.
Yes. Let me think for a second, Lex. AJ, where are we exactly? Have we literally just left the cathedral grounds?
You are currently on a large open patch of greenery. Directly in front of you and to the left is the Doncaster College, which you can access via the bridge that leads you via a bridge going under that's a canal,
Yep.
or you can head right over the road and into town centre itself. Other than that, if you carry on going straight ahead, you will end up in a subsect of it known as Wheatley, which is almost entirely residential.
Right. From
How
where we
bad does
are.
Alyssa look? Does she
Quite
look like
bad.
does she look like she's obviously been mauled to anyone who's glancing this way?
100%. Anybody who sees Alyssa at this point in time will be looking and going, "That woman is nearly dead."
Right, from where we are, we've got the canal in front of us. We've got what used to be a college building, yes?
No. If you're looking at the canal, to your left there's a pub. To the right is is basically the college.
Yeah. Right. Are there any houseboats currently on the canal?
There are indeed multiple different green in some cases, red in others, blue, variety of the primary colours of narrowboats that are on that canal.
Right. All mourned up. Do they have the planking so we can walk onto them?
You're vampires.
Yeah.
You literally just need to jump.
Right. Lex, plan. We're going to head straight
listening.
for the canal. We're going to head straight for the those boat houses. If there's anybody on the board, whichever one we pick, you're going to sweet talk them into leaving for a while. We will bribe them with cash if needed.
Why don't you just
And
drink it to death?
Because that leaves more bodies. This way, we just want a houseboat. We can think from there.
It leaves less questions and witnesses when we leave, though.
What questions and witnesses? They go, oh, we've won some form of lottery and have been sent on a holiday.
I can't do that
6
anymore.
in the morning.
Yeah.
Carrying
Fine.
a bloodied, near-dead body. What lottery have they won?
The lottery of they're not getting drunk to death. Either way, let's go.
Elizabeth, I don't have that ability I can't persuade people like I could anymore. I can lie really well, but I can't make them believe fantasies.
That's fine. Then we'll
Just
go
kill
with
them.
B. Let's get to a houseboat, and we will go to a houseboat.
But we have to make sure now, because Alyssa's useless to us right now. You have to kill them.
Yeah.
You go first. Clear the boat. I'll look after Alyssa. Because we can't do anything right now. You're the monster. Go be a monster.
That's fine. Got to pick the first houseboat from the lot. Jimmy the lock open and go in.
Make it
All
quiet.
right. So first things first, I'm going to require. Let's see what role I'm looking for here to break into a houseboat. That would usually be a larceny plus dexterity check.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, larceny and dexterity. So you're rolling your dex.
Yep, all 4 dice of it.
For one success, you manage to make an entrance. It is not a quiet one.
That's fine.
The houseboat's door itself sort of like folds a little and then lifts up the hatch. As you enter, to the left of you, there basically is a large double bed.
Mm-hmm.
The narrow corridor-like single room, effectively, the entire houseboat leads on ahead of you. It goes double bed, kitchen, bathroom, living space, but from the look of it, the couches for that have also been turned out into a double bed.
Mm-hmm.
And then from beyond that, it's the area where you would normally have coal for a proper narrowboat. The 2 kids that look up from the bed to your left and just stare at you are quite horrified.
Hurry up.
Again, viewer discretion is advised. This is not what Amy would do. I'm going to drink them till they're unconscious and then turf them out. Same with the adults.
All right. So you're starting with the kids.
The adults.
Starting with the adults. The adults are at the other end of the boat.
Oh, the kids are going to scream if you don't do them first.
Yep, kids first then, if that's the case.
How are you doing this?
Strength to quieten the other one down while I drink the first one.
When you say strength to quiet them down, that's putting a stat.
Hand over the face, straight into the pillow.
Would you please roll me your strength and brawl?
Okay, that's the strength.
It's 1 success,
That's the brawl.
2 successes. The kid can't be any more than 12 years old, and it's a male.
Mm-hmm.
The one you're about to drink from is a female.
Mm-hmm.
You dive in, bite down onto the throat, and you drink, and you drink. When are you stopping?
When the kid's unconscious.
I understand.
Not dead, unconscious. Vote to state that.
Yeah.
Not killing the kids.
Good luck with that. You're at hunger zero. That kid's dead.
Okay.
You do realize there isn't a drink to unconscious option. Drinking to unconscious is there's not enough blood left for the body to function.
Understood.
So
Stain's going to be so good after this.
the little girl dies in front of you. The boy just now screaming into your hand. After a few moments, you hear from the other end the adults start to move. What's going on? Huh? As one of them crawls out of bed.
Right. Okay. So I'm at hunger zero.
You are at hunger zero. You have just taken someone's life.
Yep.
What are you going to do? There's a kid in your hands who's now trying to bite your hand, but that's doing nothing. And there are 2 adults. They look like they're older, potentially in their late 50s, early 60s. There's a man and a woman.
It's claws o'clock, isn't it?
Yep.
I don't know. You tell me.
Yep, it's claws o'clock.
So you're popping your claws like some sort of nightmarish creature. And doing what?
Yep, snip, kill them quickly, throw them off the boat.
Starting with who?
Whichever one's coming at me first, the small child can stay in the other hand.
So, okay. The gentleman's the one coming at you first, and upon seeing you suddenly grow a set of claws, you hear worried and horrified shouts as you, while holding this kid, charge forward and shred the throat out of the old man. I'm just going to make a roll. Please stand by. Three successes. Okay, make me just a general dexterity roll, please.
3 successes.
3 successes. Okay. Actually, no. -1 dice off of that, so roll it again, sorry. It just occurred to me.
3.
You're doing multiple things at once.
Yep. Well, that wasn't good.
Okay. While you're basically going out of your way to stab this man in the throat with your hands, and he's struggling, the kid breaks out from your grasp, runs up the stairs onto the deck of the houseboat, and goes to clear off onto the side.
Do I see this, AJ?
You do, in fact, see this happen. I will say as well, while this is occurring, you also hear an ungodly shriek from the houseboat of a woman who has just watched her husband brutally murdered by a businesswoman.
I start walking away with Alyssa.
Okay. Heading just Which direction? The options are towards the college, into town, or towards the residential.
To the residential.
Okay. You start walking away while carrying Alyssa. Elizabeth,
Mm-hmm.
you have a old woman to deal with. How are you dealing with it?
Snip again, straight up.
Okay. Dropping her husband off to one side after coating the side of the wall in his blood, you then dive on this old woman, claws first. She's 60. She's not resisting that well. And using the aggravated damage that your claws cause, you turn the inside of this boat into a Jackson Pollock painting of blood.
This was not a good plan.
Are you saying that before or after you brutally murder the grandmother? Or during? Those, I suppose, are your three options.
After.
So stood in amongst the three corpses, one of which is a young girl about age 12, you now declare this is a bad idea.
And knowing Lex has run off. Right.
What are you doing?
From here, I've only really got one option because Lex has run off and I cannot catch him up as it's almost daylight.
What exactly are you doing, Lex? Are you just heading off towards the
I
residential
want
area?
to find a house.
Okay. You carry on for what's probably about 15 minutes before you start to see the rows of residential houses on the right-hand side near to where the ending point of the market is. You
Are
can
they,
pick
like-
any one.
Which one has the most expensive looking car on the drive?
Absolutely none of them.
Does any of them have a family looking car?
As they're facing at the moment, you can't see any cars because they're facing effectively out onto the main road.
Okay.
If there are
Which-
cars, they are parked elsewhere. There is actually a car parking section to the market where there are cars interspaced throughout.
Which one has the nicest garden?
No such thing. None of them have
Okay.
gardens.
Okay.
Basically, it is a full row of completely non-detached houses.
Do you want
Okay.
me to get him a picture?
No, it's fine.
Yeah, go
which
for
one
it.
looks cleanest? Like they actually look after themselves.
From the outside, hard to tell. If
Okay,
you
so
start
none of
peeking through doors, you start peeking through windows, you can see after a while one that looks like it's relatively Spartan. Looks like it's just got cream-coloured walls, reasonably sized TV, big leather couch.
Okay. I'm going to knock on that door, and I'm going to knock frantically, like it's an emergency, like something bad's happened. So not much acting needed, really.
Alyssa, you are still conscious.
No, I'm
You're
not.
just... Yeah, you are. You're just
No, I'm
near
not.
screwed. Oh, well, did I fully state that you're not conscious, or are you making the statement you are not conscious?
I'm making the statement I'm not bloody conscious. Why would
I
I be
understand.
conscious?
Fair enough. Then there is a rapid-fire series of knocks. The door... You hear the sound of stairs followed by a door. What the fuck?
Please, oh God, please help my friend. He's been attacked. Someone mugged us. Please, God, we need to use your phone. They took everything. Please, open the door.
He opens the door and motions you inside.
Thank you so much. My poor sister. They took everything from us. I just don't know what it was. It was just horrible. Please, can we just use your phone?
He starts pointing towards one of the landline off to the side before running through. I'll get some towels. Starts running
Thank you so much.
off into the kitchen and starts getting like some towels from the laundry.
I put Alyssa down gently and pick up the phone and ring one of my ghouls.
Okay. You ring for a little bit. Is it a named ghoul or is it just a ghoul?
Pardon, sorry?
Is it just part of your group, your herd?
No, I'm actually one of my retainer dots.
Ah, okay.
So I've got retainer 3.
Roll me a d10. Call order even before you do.
Okay, even. Sucks.
No response.
Fine, I put the phone down and I do the other thing that we discussed.
I understand.
Thank you. I do it away in a different room so Alyssa can't hear.
I doubly understand. Alyssa is unconscious, as Alyssa has stated.
I add that there's also been a murder.
I understand.
Thank you. And explain the situation around that from what I heard. So not metagaming, just what I heard and saw.
Yeah, fair.
Okay.
Elizabeth, what are you doing right now?
Well, as Lex has abandoned me, I'm going to jump into the river first to wash off blood, and then find some ground and literally meld into it.
Okay.
Escape the sun plan.
You dive into the water, washing yourself clean of any sort of blood or otherwise, but being as it's the River Don, you're probably picking up about 12 different things you shouldn't be doing.
Yep.
Pull yourself out. The nearest patch of ground is that open grass space.
Mm-hmm. Earth meld into it. And we will wait for the sun to go down.
You're earth melding into it there.
Well, near a tree.
Okay. Okay.
I've got no other run options.
Right.
I've got no other run options. Well, I do, technically. Which
It's a new week, isn't it? We're on Monday right now, yeah?
Yeah.
Yep.
Cool. Just
Actually,
had to check.
Just a minute. The other option is, so next to the church there is a closed down college building.
It's not a closed down college building. It's a Sea Cadet training facility.
Oh, they changed it. Oh, bugger.
Oh no, the larger one is definitely still there, yes. It's the
It's
art
still
college.
Yep, closed down. So I'll break into there and find somewhere to hide. Seems
Okay.
logical.
How are you breaking in? It is a very large, multi-floored building with boarded up windows and boarded up doors.
Yep.
How are you doing this?
Find the least obvious boarded up door, we'll break it down with raw strength, and then close behind.
Roll me a wits and awareness check.
Yay, straight wits. Yay.
That's a crit fail, isn't it?
Yep.
Okay, carry on. You start tearing away planks, pulling yourself into the building, and then what?
Basement.
There is not a basement. I mean, in here, there is also no light,
Yep.
so you don't have to worry about the sun so much.
It's just people trying to find me.
Okay. What are you doing?
Finding a nice, far away into the building area and claiming it for now.
Okay.
The library, or,
And you're going to sleep, yes?
well, I haven't really got other options. I need to find somewhere where I can close myself off and nobody's going to find me.
There is nowhere in here that is secluded away as such.
So
It'd
the
take
best
3 hours to search through the entire building.
So the best option was the earth meld.
Still a chance.
Run for it, earth meld.
Are you sure?
Yep. I'm pretty much boned either way I go with this.
Yeah, start writing a new character, you're dead. That's not a not a
No.
suggestion. Start writing a new character.
Yeah. There's literally nothing I can do from the situation that I've caused myself into.
Yep, tiny bit. Basically, your Earth melding is somewhere with 4 cameras. I'm just saying. I discussed this with you last week.
Yeah, so it's either I find somewhere else to Earth meld, unanchor the said boat and leave on said boat, or hide in a building.
Pick your call. One of those has a slight chance of survival. The other 2 do not.
I'm gonna guess it's the boat at this rate.
I mean,
Or the building.
just out of interest, actually, no, just make a new character because you've said you're Earth melding.
Mm,
And as we know, there's no way out of that till the next day.
yep.
You can't make 3 choices and then when I say that it's gone wrong, make a 4th.
Yeah, no.
So, for clarity, you are dug up,
Mm-hmm.
and the second you touch sunlight, you are incinerated.
Yep.
Because Earth meld, you can be dug up from.
Yes.
So, new week. Kill count started at 1.
So Dan, you come back and there's no one here.
Right. What's your plan now, Lex?
I'm literally going to wait for the authorities to arrive.
Okay. Since you called them,
And mention the M word, that always usually helps.
yeah, since there's no one else other than Alyssa around, could you please tell the for the benefit of the stream, what it is you actually did?
So, I went into the other room with a phone call and basically rang 999, asked to be put through to the police. And as soon as I spoke to someone on the police, I asked to speak to someone from Operation First Light and told them that me and my sister have been kidnapped by some terrorists from Project Blank Body, and they have us hostage and they're keeping us against her will. And then I would have described Elizabeth in detail, saying she's kept us hostile and she's keeping us against her will, and she's very dangerous, extremely dangerous, and I can't talk for too long. And she's just murdered some family on this houseboat, given the address. Please come save us. My sister's injured, and we're at this address. Please hurry.
So you see why I was looking at that situation a little off there, Elizabeth.
Oh, yeah.
Right. And you're waiting there till the authorities come and pick you and Alyssa up.
Yep. I'm going to lie my way out of this.
So,
Actually, at this point, I like to activate the thing that gives me directions to the best possible outcome.
just so I have that clear, that would be.
You probably know better than me because I'm terrible.
Yeah, I'm
with
just
these
checking
powers.
it now. It's.
Auspicious prospect of journeys, is it?
I believe it. No, it's not a special project. Jersey. It's will. It's wise
Would-
choice.
Oh, why sure.
Okay, so I want you to word the question on what you are asking, whether it's a wise choice or not.
Is staying here and waiting for the authorities the best logical action to survive this event?
Definitive no.
Right. Fuck. Alyssa, how useful is Alyssa to me now?
Alyssa is broken, battered, missing a hand, bloodied,
I'm not missing a
generally
hand.
quite ruined. Did your hand not explode?
No, that's Asta. That's D&D.
Oh, I'm
You
pretty
hadn't-
sure it crushed your
hand got-
hand.
Your hand
He
got crushed. but it's
crushed
still
my
there.
hand into he crushed all the bones in my hand and
So
turned
you're
it.
currently missing a hand. Then it's
I'm
not
not
actually removed
missing,
entirely,
it's
but
there.
it's not working.
No, it's not working. It's a bloody pulp, but
My
it's still
point stands.
there.
Well, that
got-
one.
I go to the owner of the house.
He looks at you for a moment. Yes, sorry. Brute
sorry, I
holding a bunch of
I didn't-
towels.
I didn't get your name. Sorry, what's your name?
Jacob.
Jacob, thank you so much. I need to go. I need to go. And can you look after my sister? I just need to go and see if I meet the police. They told me to go wait for them on the where the person took us. They're going to send a squad car there, and they're going to send an ambulance here to pick up my sister. I need to go
Roll
meet
me
them.
a goddamn subterfuge roll.
So
Subterfuge and manipulation.
can I use charisma?
No, this is manipulation.
Okay. Can I boost it with my stuff to get 11 dice succeeding on 3s?
Jesus.
Because strangely enough, I want to pass this.
So you're spending a point of willpower
And a point of essence, I believe.
and a point of essence to have it succeeding on 5s.
But I thought it was 3s.
No, it's
No,
6s
5s.
normally.
Okay.
But you add the extra dice on. Not that it makes a damn bit of difference.
Yeah.
That's
1,
four
2, 3,
success- that's
4,
six
5, 6,
successes.
7, 8 successes.
He just looks at you for a moment and just smiles, nods repeatedly. Yeah, no worries. Go. I'll look after her.
I shake his hand and goes, thank you. God bless you. And I leave.
Well,
What?
Lex sold us all down
One by one. Down the river, all 3 of you. I'm so proud.
I didn't even want this to happen, actually. I was hoping to use it to my advantage, not like get everyone killed.
I mean,
This is what playing games gets you.
Maybe Alyssa doesn't get killed. Maybe she just gets experimented on. It's fine.
I hate you so much right now. So much. We're not friends anymore. You're not invited to anything. I'm gonna make your life so miserable next week. You will wish that you didn't cross my path.
I didn't want to kill you. I just wanted to use
Don't
you.
even talk to me!
Well. For God's sake.
Wow. um.
So, Elizabeth fucked up. Lex is, well,
Right.
If I hadn't have heard that scream, it would have gone differently. It would have gone very differently.
Alyssa, would you roll me a willpower check?
Oh boy, a willpower. I don't even know what willpower I have right now. Oh boy, my willpower is strong, bar that one.
Right.
that's a crit. Yep.
You come to conscious. No, it is not a crit.
No.
You come to consciousness. You are in pain. It doesn't even cover the correct wording. You see Lex leave. He has gone. You have no physical way of catching him. You don't know what he's done, but you have just seen him leave through the door. You are, however, now being stood over by a tall gentleman, short brown hair, just holding a set of towels and seems to be like mopping your brow, trying to clear up some of the blood. You are now coming into consciousness.
Where am I?
Don't try to talk. You've been mugged.
What?
You've been mugged. The police are on their way.
Where's my friends?
Your brother. He's literally just your brother. He's just left through the door now.
That's That's not my brother.
He takes a moment. He remembers that he's been hit with a 7 success manipulation attempt. Of course, you're delirious. He takes the wet flour and just puts it onto your head. It is actually cooling, considering the fact that you are basically on fire from fever, pain, and otherwise. He'll be back in a bit. He's just going to go out and wait for the police.
If I know him, which I'm pretty sure I do, that's not what's happened. I'm really sorry. Have you got some clothes I could wear, please?
Yeah, he has been making a strong point not to stare at the fact that you are broken, busted, and nude. He kind of looks, oh yeah, sure. He takes a towel, covers it over you. I'll go get you some now. Just wait a minute.
Thank you.
And starts heading upstairs. There's a few moments where he's upstairs, rummaging around. Comes back down a few seconds later. White t-shirt, pair of jeans, relatively baggy in both cases. They'd fit you easily, and then some. He also brings a belt down to, offer. How are you feeling? Do you feel strong enough to be to dress yourself? Do you need someone to help you?
No,
He does seem innocent enough.
No, it's fine. I'll manage. Thank you very much.
He smiles. Don't worry. I'll go wait for. I'll go. Yeah, and heads out the room. Heads into the kitchen.
As I'm getting changed, I'm gonna call out to him. Did he happen to ring anyone?
He used my phone. He said he was calling the police to basically cover your attacker.
He just called the police. He didn't ring anyone else.
I don't think so. I'll be honest. I was busy looking after you.
Okay, no, that's great. You wouldn't happen to have some painkillers, would you?
Yeah. Bear with me. There's a sound of sort of sink doors opening, something being rummaged through. A few seconds later, he comes in with a box of what looks like paracetamols, ibuprofens, some cocodamol. That's all I've got. Sorry, I don't know how I'd
No,
handle.
this is
points
great.
at the hand.
It's fine. I'll work for it. It's fine. Thank you. And what was it? Cocodamol.
Cocodamol, paracetamol, ibuprofen.
Okay.
Basic stuff you'll find in the house. The cocodamol's the strongest.
Strongest. Yeah, that's what I'm going for. The cocodamol.
Your neck too. He's actually got a glass of water for you.
Thank you very much. Look, you've been really helpful, and just thank you. I have to go.
I mean, you should really wait till you see him looking at you for a moment. His eyes go slack a little, and then the bullet hole in the side of his head puts him on the ground.
I'm gonna whip around to where the bullet came from and instantly defense mode.
From the window.
Fuck. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna assume, based on houses, there's a back door in the kitchen.
Okay. You start wandering towards the back wall of the back room of the building, and the door has already opened, and there are two men in the back door, black tactical gear, sort of weird-looking spotlight, halogen spotlights, and what seem to be MP5s. They take a look at you, and you start hearing down on the ground.
I'm gonna put my hands. Well, I'm gonna put what remains of a hand and the other hand in the air, and I. Oh, I'm not strong enough to take them out because you're gonna hit us with like fucking penalties for being injured.
I mean, in fairness, yes.
Yeah.
You are a walking corpse right now, practically.
Wow, rude. Yeah, I'm gonna put my hands in the air and I'm gonna slowly get on the ground and go, please don't shoot. I am alive. I'm not a corpse.
Yeah, that's the problem. You see the butt of a rifle go down across your head and you go once again into unconsciousness.
As I go out, I'm just gonna think, my last thoughts as I cross my mind are the prince.
Oh.
Just please
Oh.
help me.
All right, then.
Hold on.
As you were, go for it.
Ooh.
Go on, pick one.
Okay. Shall I go for number 9?
Number 9 sounds good. Do the thing.
Okay. The earth begins to tremble and expels bones and noxious vapors.
Outstanding. Okay,
And,
so
ash rain as well.
actually, you know what? This might actually work out even better. So, the majority of Doncaster Town Centre is hit by a relative earthquake,
What?
and certain portions of it start to spew out a cacophonous amount of bones that clatter onto the floor, as well as an ash-like rain that seems to be falling in from the sky. Lex, as you're basically halfway down the street, you can see this, smell this. There is something bad is going on. Elizabeth, you're ejected from the ground along with a pile of bones.
I'm still alive. The hell?
Would appear so.
I will stop writing the Bruiser for now. Okay. Is it dark? What am I seeing?
You can currently see a small team of tactical officers moving towards your position.
I'm going in the opposite direction as quickly as vampirely possible.
Down on the ground, black body. We won't ask twice.
Oh dear. How many are there?
There are 4 of them.
Okay, I'll drop down very quickly to the ground as the earthquake continues.
They do appear to be staggering a little bit from it. Lex.
I'm just gonna walk casually, like I'm on the way home after a night.
Mm-hmm. However, after a few moments, you are approached by what appears to be 2 men wearing tactical gear coming in from in the front of you. It's like there's a camera network.
If I could be out of here before they arrive, bugger.
Well, you would be, but for one thing that I don't think you quite counted on.
What's that?
You'll see.
Okay.
The 2 officers in front of you just point both weapons at you on the floor now.
Surely we can talk about this, officer.
One of them uses dominate on the floor now.
I go on the floor.
So, you know how phone calls to the police would have to go through certain channels?
You done fucked
You
up,
didn't
boy.
count for the Camarilla.
You done fucked up, boy.
It's fine. I can still work this.
You done fucked up. Worse than I did.
No, really didn't.
No, he didn't.
Lex had a plan, you did not.
I didn't count the family in the houseboat. I counted on maybe 1 person.
If you snuck in and murdered them straight away, we would not be in this situation. Goddamn
So,
gangrel with feelings and morals.
There you go.
each of you are bundled up after a point and are taken with black bags over your head to a safe house, where you are left to sleep the day away.
I'm assuming if I'm sleeping through the day,
Mhm.
which is what I'm assuming, I would like to make a point that I will be having effing nightmares.
I believe you will. What will those nightmares be of?
I wonder what just happened the night before involving, crucifixion and a building falling on my one true love.
Oh, I thought it'd be snakes.
We'll take 3 abyssal manifestations to go, please, Dan.
3.
3.
Oh,
Okay. Hmm.
abyssals, mate. Not even once.
The sky grows dark and overcast. All sounds of life become notably muffled and muted within a 100-yard radius of the character.
Mm-hmm.
All crops within the character's line of sight die.
That's not really going to help for the line of sight one, but I will say that while you are sleeping, Alyssa, there is...
Oh, sorry. All shadows in the character's presence scream or sing.
I mean,
harsh, but I'm involved.
It's fine. I will continue writing my brooder, just in case.
So, Alyssa, while you are sleeping, you do hear the sounds of singing.
Oh wow.
what kind of singing? Is it
Hush,
heavenly choir
little
music?
baby, don't say a word.
I mean, that's nice. I don't know
It's
why,
Arlo's
but
voice.
for some reason I heard "Baby of Mine" in my head.
It's either way, it's an Arlo's voice.
I try not to sleep for the day, and listen to as much as I can of the surroundings.
You hear all of that singing in
Oh,
Arlo's
God.
voice.
Oh god. Make it stop.
And it lasts for as long as Alyssa's asleep.
Well, I imagine once, a nightmare hits its apex, I'm probably gonna, scream myself awake. Regardless of what time of day it is. It's a nightmare.
Okay. As you scream yourself awake, coming up to close to the evening, you hear the trail end of the shadows around you singing that you're a lullaby.
Thanks that it's over.
You are in a room tied with zip ties to arms and legs. There are no windows. It is generally quite dark. There is one door. The door looks like it is made out of some level of reinforced steel.
So we're no longer black bagged.
You have had the black bags removed.
Okay.
You were made to be unconscious before it happens. All 3 of
Okay.
you are within that room.
All 3 of us are in this room.
Sister and our associate. It's good to see you all. Well, you're not awake yet, but good to see you awake, sister.
Don't you dare talk to me!
Sister.
You absolute leech, you cretin!
Sister, your temper will not help us in this
Stop
situation.
calling me your sister! I am not your...
Sister, you're obviously delusional after your attack.
Shut up! Shut up! Shut up! You are not...
Sister, please.
Stop calling me your sister!
I am your brother.
No, you are not my brother! I don't have a brother! I don't have
do.
any family! Stop it!
Alyssa's voice is starting to sound closer to that of a lion the longer she carries on this rant.
Sister,
Stop it! Stop it!
you're going like Mother did when she had her issues. Don't. Mother got
If
like this
you
towards the end.
don't stop this talking, I will rip your head from your shoulders!
This is why Father left and Mother was left just to raise us. Don't be like this.
AJ,
sister.
I'd like to rage.
Is Elizabeth still unconscious?
It's almost time for Elizabeth to wake up, but for the moment, yes. Alyssa, you call upon your internal rage, and there is this sudden pulse of energy through your body. Your hand starts to slowly regenerate. Roll me a stamina check.
Oh boy, stamina check. Something that I don't have a great deal of, surprisingly.
But it's enough. That is 2 wounds healed.
Oh, boy.
I was on so many wounds, it makes no difference.
Let's just say that you are now... Well, you only can take 5.
True.
You're now on 3. And your hand has actually started to form its skeleton and most of the muscles across it properly again. There is a horrible snapping sound, Lex, as things start to reset
Sister,
on Alyssa.
calm down. Remember your treatment. Count to 10.
Can I snap my way out of the bindings?
You are not fully formed yet, but I would say that if you are currently at a stage where you'd have an extra dot on strength, roll it for me.
What, all my strength?
Mm-hmm. Just your strength.
Is that...
Not in full wear form. Just add 1 dot onto it.
Yeah, that means I'm on 5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Beep.
You start to see this sort of twanging sound as zip ties just fly in directions.
Quickly, AJ, this is my last thing before Jade pummels me to death.
Go on.
Can
You're lucky it's lying.
I buff up to lie? I want to give up a super lie.
Okay.
I want to basically while Alyssa's in a vulnerable state, I want to do a lie so well she believes me, starts doubting reality.
Oh.
Oh dear.
Right.
Just tell me when I'm awake, AJ.
So, Alyssa, prepare for me your wits and insight. Lex,
Yep.
I would like you to firstly
Yep.
tell me this lie.
Sister, I know you're angry and I know you don't believe it, but it's true. You're not well. You're just not well and the trauma's got to you. Just please calm down.
Okay. You are trying to convince her you are actually her brother through the power of exalted magic, which weirdly
Yes.
for a Sidreal is not unheard of.
Yes. Yes, I'm trying to basically... Yes. When Elizabeth wakes up, she doesn't know anything that I've done, but Alyssa, I need to get on my side.
Okay. So I am correct in the assumption you will basically be using every charm in your arsenal to do this.
Yes, because if I don't, I'm going to die.
Right. Spend 1 essence.
That's 2 essence spent so far.
Um,
3 essence, sorry, because I did that thing
Yep.
to see. So 3 essence spent so far.
1 point of willpower.
That's 2 willpower spent so far.
Add 3 to your subterfuge.
Cool, so that's 6.
Reduce difficulty from 6 to 4.
Right.
Let me have a look, see if there's anything else on that combo. Fish Deception Technique doesn't do the thing.
I guess it's manipulation again, not charisma.
It will definitely be manipulation, not charisma.
Cool, so it's 10 rather than 11. Okay.
Right. Do you wish to attempt to steal, using Sidriel Shell Games, any of her abilities?
Ooh. Let's steal some of her manipulation.
Okay. I would like you to spend another essence and roll me wits and larceny.
Oh god, that's 4 essence spent so much. So wits is 2, larceny is 3. Oh, I'm not very good at this. Oh, that didn't look too good.
You stole all 3 points of Alyssa's manipulation.
Oh, that's good at least. So 4.
Now
5,
roll
7.
the pool.
So 7 plus 6 is 13. Do I have a 13? No, so it's 10 or 3. 10. Oh no, bugger! I didn't mean to do it like that. Oh, I was doing it this way then.
Is that 4 successes total?
1 sec.
No, because you count it on 5s, aren't you?
Yeah, that's my 13 dice.
4s even. Someone want to tell me how many 4 pluses that rolled?
1,
1,
2, 3,
2,
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
How many 10s were in that?
1.
Just 1.
10 successes. Wits and insight, please, Alyssa.
Quick question. Will my intimacy of I will never wear chains come into this, as it is essentially a mind effect?
This is not a mind effect as such. This is the rewriting of reality.
Okay, never mind then. There is literally no point in me even trying. I only have 5 dice.
Yeah, there is, because you could have had 4 tens.
Like that was going to happen.
Go for it anyway. You
Okay.
never know.
No.
Through a excessive burn of power on Lex's part, Alyssa, you're looking down at Lex, and you know what he's done. You know all the things that occurred up to this point. But he has convinced you he's your brother.
So he's my.
Is that enough to save him?
Oh, fuck.
Nope. I'm not stupid. I'm well aware. Well aware.
So you've managed to convince her her brother, Lex.
Everything I've done is because I love you. You're my kin, my flesh and blood. I was just trying to protect us. I did it the only way I knew how. I lied, I cheated, and I did everything to protect us. I still am. Just, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, Alyssa, my dear sister. I'm sorry.
I'm just gonna get real close to him.
You firmly believe he is sorry.
Yep. I'm gonna put my hands. I'm gonna put my hands on his shoulders. I'm gonna get real close.
I'm very tense as she does this. Very tense.
A brother wouldn't abandon his sister, especially when he's called the police.
I didn't. I was going to get help. You know me. You trust me. I've never lied to you. I've never lied to you. I never will lie to you. I was just trying to get help for us.
Elizabeth, it's about at this point in time you wake up.
Oh shit!
I wake up to hearing all of the lies from Lex.
No. From this point in time, your senses kick in. You did not hear anything before it.
So,
Why did you even call the police?
Because you needed medical attention.
Then you don't call the police.
I called an
Lex.
ambulance.
AJ? Snicked. Snicked.
I didn't call the police.
There is the sound of claws being popped.
Remember, we were seen on camera. That's why they came. That's why we got attacked by these people. We were seen on camera because that one took down a fucking tree. I called an ambulance to get you medical attention. I took us away from this one's fuck up when that kid got away and screamed. So many things could have brought the police down on us. So many fucking things.
And yet you're the one that called them, Lex.
I called for an ambulance.
I spoke to that man in the house. He said you called the police. He mentioned nothing of an ambulance.
I told him we called the police because I just came in saying we've been mugged.
Then why wouldn't you tell him that an ambulance is coming for me?
I told him
straight
both.
through Lex's back.
I can't do Jack and D-Dog against that.
Yeah, you don't even want to see the dice roll.
I want to see the dice roll because initially we're going to be looking at strength and brawl, please.
Okay.
I'm gonna say I can't dodge
Strength
because
first.
I'm pretty much tied up still.
Well, I'm also holding onto your shoulders, so.
Things I definitely can't dodge.
Oh, actually.
One success.
Success from 6. Damn.
it's
Don't
still
even
one.
remember Leon. Oh, no.
one.
I've got another 2 from the claws, AJ.
Nope.
No?
That's 2 extra damage from the claws.
Mm-hmm.
To be honest, though,
second.
that 3-ag will take me down.
It's not
'cause I have 1 ag
aggravated.
from last session.
You're not mortal.
Oh.
You're an exalted.
Add a +2 modifier to their brawl, AJ. And damage.
All right, we'll roll the extra 2.
Not that it's going to make a damn bit of difference. Two
It is, it's going to add
successes.
1. So you take 3 points of superficial damage, Lex, as you just feel Elizabeth claw all the way up your back.
That is actually going to be 3 points of ag damage because I took all my superficial damage last week when Jade punched me.
Oh, yeah.
I did actually say you'd healed from that,
Oh, sorry.
because
Okay.
otherwise you wouldn't have been conscious.
Okay.
So you take 3 points of superficial damage.
Okay. So
Because it's not halved.
Okay, so I've only got 2 + 3, 1 superficial ball left for it, so it becomes ag.
Elizabeth, you shred up the side of Lex's back, drawing blood, but definitely
scream?
not as enough to, do anything else.
I scream.
The second you scream, a door opens, and in step 2 men who pull guns. Put him down, or you're being dropped.
They have guns. I let him go.
In fact, actually, hold on, Elizabeth.
Guns.
How are you? Actually, no, you don't do any of that. You're trapped in zip ties.
Yeah. Yeah, I have to pop the zip ties first.
Sorry, I just realised that didn't happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rewind.
So you actually,
The first thing would be to use the first thing Elizabeth would do would be use the claws to undo the zip ties.
so
in
the
that
very
case.
first thing you've done is pop the zip ties. Yes.
Yeah.
Either way, at that point in time, the 2 men step in, pull the guns, and say, "Right, we'll have enough of that. Put him down."
I take my hands off his shoulders.
The prince would like a word.
Let's not keep His Majesty waiting.
May I ask which prince?
He looks at you for a moment. You may not. The only person who gets to speak here, looks over at Elizabeth, is that one.
Which prince are we meeting with? Please.
Prince Tohost.
I'm assuming of Doncaster.
You can assume correctly. Now, come on. Motions towards the door. You start to recognise that these do have blood pumping through their veins. What probably got sent for you was a ghoul squad.
Yep. Unpop the claws.
I'll wait for Jade to let go of me.
I already let go of you.
Sorry, I didn't hear that.
Shall get up and follow, but obviously at a minor walking pace, given the fact that I'm still injured.
What fresh hell have you put us in, Lex?
I assure you, Elizabeth, this is not of my doing. And if you are to talk, please be savvy. Don't just try to kill a family badly with your tongue.
You're led through a winding series of corridors until eventually you reach what's the inside of possibly a hotel of some description. It's very sort of brightly decorated, quite cheery in places. You're led through an upper set of stairs into a function room, which as it opens has a single throne in it. There's a bar off to one side where there are various shadowed figures just stood around. Another couple over to another side. At the guy's right-hand side, there is a large-looking gentleman with multiple tattoos all the way down his arms, bald head, and a crown's worth of them in Arabic. He looks particularly vicious looking with the 2 knives on his side. Lex, out of everyone here, you would recognize a Banu Hakim.
Yep, I'm like, he's the one who's got my attention over most people in this room.
The guy on the throne, however, does appear to be dressed in sort of chantry robes, has a almost cloak around his neck, and is prominently displaying the symbol of House Tremere. He has a pencil-thin beard, slicked black hair down into a ponytail. Well, this is nice, isn't it? Razor, be a lamb and undo their bindings for me. The Banu Hakim takes a step forward, and all of a sudden, all of your bindings have been removed.
I'm just gonna stand there with my hands in front of me, like I already did mine.
There is the thing as well, though, Alyssa, to note is your eyes are probably fast enough to keep a track of the blur that was that level of celerity.
Yeah.
So, says the gentleman on the throne, it's usually customary for kindred upon entering the domain of a prince of the Camarilla to announce themselves. Looks over at Elizabeth.
I whisper to Elizabeth, according to custom, you have a month before you have to. Just
You
remember
get
your
back to the word have to, and suddenly you've gone silent. The entire area around you has gone silent.
Oh, fucking blood magic.
As you sort of look around confused, you sort of turn to the left, and out of nowhere, directly in front of you, there's the face of a Nosferatu, who has one finger to his lips looking at you.
Is this a familiar looking Nosferatu?
No. You've never seen this guy before. His face seems a lot more busted up than you'd have seen any of the others, especially Jasper.
No.
This guy looks like he's been almost melted in acid. It's that level. It's traditional sort of two pointed fangs. Just puts a finger to his lips and just goes, shh. All of a sudden, the area starts to have volume once more. Prince looks over. Thank you, Benny. I was starting to wonder. Benny here is my sheriff, you see. He is responsible for handling a lot of the laws around here. And, well, let's just say there are things I do that are done differently. But I do appreciate, looking directly at Lex, someone who has the knowledge of tradition. I'm just interested as to how you managed to get it.
Permission to speak?
Denied. Looks over at Elizabeth.
Well, you are correct. It would normally be tradition for us to introduce ourselves.
No, we've moved on from that. We've
Okay.
moved on to that. How does this blood bag know our traditions?
Because until I have no longer a timescale because of where we've been, but in our own thinking, a couple of days ago, he was kindred.
I facepalm so hard. So hard, I facepalm.
The prince looks at you a moment, then just slowly tilts his head to look at Lex.
I give Elizabeth the evils, the most evil I can look.
That is very interesting.
You do not tell Tremere such fucking things.
And how did this state of affairs occur that you have transcended the curse placed upon us by our forefathers? He is literally on the edge of his seat looking at you, so happy.
I'm sure, Your Majesty, that me and my sister here can help you and discover all the secrets of the stars.
He looks over at Alyssa, looks back to you.
I'm just face palming myself.
If I'm going down, you're going.
So you two are related by blood, then?
Oh, our bond far exceeds blood, Your Majesty.
Interesting.
You see, before I was as I am now, I was one who was very, very esteemed in the secrets of the world.
Right.
So I'm sure you and I can come to a beneficial arrangement.
He looks you up and down for a moment, sort of tilting his head. You were ministry, weren't you?
Yes, I have that pride.
I can tell.
What do you want, Your Majesty? What do you
Oh,
really
no,
want?
no. We're not playing the game of the forked tongue with me, my friend.
Let me just ask somebody else then. I summon my snake.
The little emerald serpent comes out of your ear and sort of curls around your neck.
I make sure the prince can see this because I know how the Tremere like their secrets and their occult.
Oh, his eyes have gone very wide.
I whisper to the snake, "What does this prince really want? What is his greatest desire?"
The snake slithers off of your shoulder all the way down to the tips of your fingers and vanishes. 5 seconds later, he appears on your other arm and slides up to your ear. The removal of the anarchs within his city.
I nod and look at the prince. A noble goal.
He looks at the snake, looks at you for a moment. What's a noble goal?
Your greatest desire.
And what is my greatest desire?
That doesn't come free, Your Majesty.
Well, it
Nor
does. I know what my greatest desire
Nor
is.
does any secret of any other Camarilla, Anarch, or Sabat kindred. All I need is a name.
There is a sudden bristling from everyone in the room when you say the S word.
Any secret, any information about your enemies or your allies can be yours. And I know no Tremere ever say no to that.
There's a moment's pause. The Banu Hakim at the side looks at his master. Tremere just kind of raises a hand and waves it off for a moment. And I suppose the price is your freedom.
Mine and my sisters. The gangrel I care not for.
Lex,
Looks over at Elizabeth.
Thanks for sailing me down the river twice now.
no, Lex, we're not leaving Elizabeth.
Elizabeth is a kindred. She does not need to worry like we need to worry, dear sister.
He has a point there. Quite a strong one, actually. You notice the prince has something in his hand now. It's a small rectangular box.
Oh dear.
So he's just been running his thumb up and down what could be a set of buttons. He's, like I say, perfectly
down.
correct. Go on, Lex, you were saying?
I look down. Are we on a pit or some sort?
No. You're. This is perfect floor. The box
Okay.
doesn't look like it's attached to anything. It's not wireless.
Okay.
After all, you see, my dear lady, he reaches up and presses play on the dictaphone that plays your entire callback involving Project First Light and the blank bodies.
I don't flinch. I just say nothing and just listen to it.
I knew it. I
presses
knew you
stop.
were lying.
How was I lying? I was protecting you
Protecting me from what?
from this one's failure. This one who failed to simply murder a sleeping family.
You were supposed to stop any stragglers. We were supposed to be a team.
I don't remember that being negotiated, Elizabeth, and I'm pretty sure a
It shouldn't
gangrel can
need to
deal
be
with a sleeping
negotiated.
All of a
family.
sudden, everything goes quiet again. As you see, Benny has raised his hand once more.
I need to learn that skill.
The prince leans back in his seat. You see, here's the problem I have. I was, up until this point in time, looking over this situation with just the disdain that came from a mortal having known the situation. Now, I see I have a masquerade breacher in my midst. Someone who has willingly called down the Second Inquisition upon my city. Just nod if you understand where this is going, my dear friend.
Nod.
So, you find me in a very awkward predicament here, because I do want to know all of your different little intricacies and secrets and whatever else is in that lovely little head of yours. But protocol does dictate I smash that head open to get those secrets.
I raise a finger up as if I have a point to say.
He looks over at Benny, and Benny just drops his hand.
Your Majesty is quite correct, as is your will in all things, but the tradition dictates the law of vampires of kindred. I am no longer a kindred.
So that makes you an incredibly dangerous mortal who has already had the masquerade breached.
Or a very potent tool.
A very potent tool, potentially, that has clearly sold his old former coterie down the river.
I'm pretty sure that can be overlooked for my services rendered.
I'm going to ask you a question. Have you ever heard the tale of the scorpion and the frog?
I have, indeed.
Do I look like I've got fucking frog's legs to you?
No.
Because that tail is raised. There is some venom coming off of it. And I don't care if it's in your nature or not.
My nature is to survive, Your Majesty, just like
I'm
all
noticing.
Other natures.
So how long until your secrets that you're using to barter your way into my good graces become my enemy's secrets?
Then you make sure that my leash is a silk one and my cage is golden.
Your argument is I reward you.
A servant who is loved and cherished and treated well will serve better than one that is kept in rags and chains.
But one with such ambition.
Should ambition not be rewarded? I'm sure when the Chantry was still around, it rewarded ambition and progress.
It did. It rewarded it with submission.
Then I offer you my willing submission. Give me your blood.
My dear friend, it's not something that's a thing to be offered. He takes a step forward and pulls a knife. He walks over to Elizabeth.
Mm-hmm.
Places the tip of the knife right under her chin. Looks back at Lex. Looks back at Elizabeth. What should I do with him? As the only kindred in the room.
I personally want to eat him, but that's just my feelings on the matter. He's already sold me and my friend down the river.
Yes, your friend who is mortal.
She's a lot more than that.
Oh, do tell.
You're really bad at this, Elizabeth.
I don't understand it myself properly. She was one thing, then another.
I'm going to need details, my dear.
She gained a lot of my tricks, and I don't know how. She can shift, and she's very good in a fight. That's about all I can...
Alyssa?
Well, whatever hit her was a lot harder.
Looks back at Elizabeth. So I have one, gestures over at Lex, who is determined to do anything to save their own life through their own forked tongue. I have one, points back at Elizabeth, who is incompetent and is willing to sell all of the secrets of anyone that she knows down the river to save her own life. He looks over at Lissa. Please tell me I have at least one person in this team who is not out for self-preservation.
I just nod my head. And I
I'm
squeeze
assuming
Elizabeth's hand.
everything your companion said is true.
Yes.
Your Majesty, if you have anything to say, please direct it to myself, not my sister. She has had a terrible loss and is not in the right mind for such conversations.
He turns and looks over at you before leaning in a little. My dear friend, currently what you are trying to use in this negotiation is Disney dollars at an actual store.
We both know that,
Malachi!
All right. So, out of the darkness, I'd imagine the back left corner of the room.
Seems about right.
Yeah.
By the way, he fully knows. Just so you're aware.
Hmm?
He's
He
fully aware. He's actually using that as a statement. Carry on.
Okay. Moves himself out of the shadows. He's about 5'11", long blonde hair. Currently wearing a black cloak and hat that just looks so very kindred, but there's like sort of a black trench coat with black Stetson. So his long blonde hair is just hanging down the side of the Stetson. He's got a bit of a scruffy beard going on. And he takes a look at the situation. And he looks at Lex. And you can almost see the shadows around him are slightly burning.
Hmm.
The prince stands to full height. So, Malachi here has been in my employ for some time.
Interesting.
He was my ghoul. Up until last night.
Is he what I think he is?
What do you think he is? Or is that information going to cost me as well?
I think the fact that the shadows sing in his presence and almost swerve around him like lovers, that he is one of the so-called shadow walkers, the kings of the dark, the night prowlers.
Now, you see, in any other situation, you'd be wrong. But in this situation, you're incredibly wrong. Malachi, would you be a lamb and show this person your new trick?
So, Malachi unholsters a pistol.
I'm not going to like this trick, am I?
Oh, well, you see, this is the problem. I don't want you to actually... let's not go for the big tricks. Just...
Oh, not the big tricks.
Just show the... Show that thing you showed me on your forehead.
Oh. And I focus.
As...
And a symbol... Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Burning symbol.
As Malachi focuses, a familiar symbol blazes in golden fire on his forehead. Arlo had one.
Whatever is that supposed to be?
I take a step back.
The prince turns to look at Malachi. Now remind me, my dear friend. How do you know this one again?
Oh, this one.
Mm.
This one was there when the church came down.
Prince just looks directly at Lex.
Is this supposed to be a revelation of some sort, Your Majesty?
Well, when he introduced himself to me, he said his other name was the Prince Bathed in Ash.
Yep.
Oh, God.
Because his other
Heroin.
name had been sold away. And he told me this tale. I found it rather impossible to believe that my ghoul had come up with something so interesting. And then he showed me this.
I see. House and Clan Tremere has always been good at the secrets of the occult.
So I tasted his blood and tested it. Can I do the same for you, my dear boy? He flicks the knife in his fingers.
Me, Your Majesty?
I'm so interested to know what a Sidril Exalted tastes like.
I hear I can be quite addictive, Your Majesty.
Don't worry, I'll not take too much.
It would be a terrible waste if you did.
He starts walking forward, raises a hand up, pricks the tip of your finger, runs it across his tongue. Ooh, yeah, I can definitely see the addiction there.
Be careful. Too much will give you an indigestion.
I don't think it's something I need to worry too much about. Malachi, you said you wanted to see this one about something. He apparently said something to you before you died?
Oh. Yes. Let's.
At this point in time, the prince turns his back and starts walking away.
Yes, Malachi?
Fuck you.
Oh dear.
I pull out my gun. Well, my gun's already unholstered. I'd like to point it at Lex.
Wait, Malachi. Wait. You don't have to do this. There's an option here that we haven't yet discussed.
Oh, options were removed from the table when the church came down.
I know how to bring you back.
Bring me back.
The real prince that bathed in ash back.
This would have been information which would have helped last night, Lex.
If you kill me, you'll never get him back. I can bring him back, Alyssa, my dear sister. Your true love. I
Don't
can bring
you
him
dare
back.
call your sister again.
I
You
am
have
back.
already angered him.
No, you are but a shadow of the prince. I can bring the
A
real
shadow?
prince back.
A shadow. Full animal banner.
Understood. What happens next is the ground beneath Malachi stains a brilliant white. His body ripples energy as the full might of the unconquered sun is released. Behind him, there is this towering, horrifying-looking beast's face that just seems to be superimposed, sketched into the light around. This isn't a embryo. This isn't a would-be. This is a full-blooded Solar Exalted. A living conduit to the unconquered sun himself. A part of you inside Lex realizes the danger of one of these things being alive in the current nights.
Levy my gun against him again.
Aloe.
Oh, for fuck's sake!
Aloe. I keep saying aloe.
Yep. Well, while he's saying it, I activate Wise Arrow, Fiery Arrow attack, and a Trance of Unhesitating Speed.
How many attacks?
I'll go for 3 attacks at 9 dice.
Just to save rolling,
That should do it.
let's just say I go unconscious because I can't stop anything.
No,
You're
this is
unconscious. This is
there's
death shot.
no unconscious. This is motes of sunlight. These are out
Okay.
damage.
Yeah, I'm just saying. I am happy to go calmer, whatever. I cannot stop anything. This is my last card being thrown out there, saying
I
Arlo's
understand.
name.
I'm going to say 3 Arlos come out before the headshot.
Yeah.
But the blast basically launches Lex's body from one end of the room to the other. Lex lets out his last breath and ends. However, Lex's last act does resonate a little bit as the ground starts to tremble. The shadows start to lengthen. Clawing hands start to pull various parts of darkness in and around the room. The area seems to shrink ever so slightly.
Prince, escape exit, like
Oh, no, not
about
again,
5
not
minutes
again,
ago.
not again, not again. No, I can't do this again.
The prince just looks around for a moment before making a couple of motions with some of the people in the room. The Assamite nods, moves. Benny nods, moves. Various different things look like they're being secured into place.
Melissa, Malachi, time to go.
Yes.
I'm having a full-blown panic attack.
I'm going to pick
The
Alyssa
prince
up and
holds his
start running.
hand in the air. Nobody leaves this room until I say so. Understand that?
You know that church that's in rubble?
Listen, Gangrel, I didn't get your name, but shush. The shadows continue to strengthen and lengthen before stopping and pulling back. He smiles a little. Yeah, there we go. I was wondering. He looks around the three of you. You expected the prince of the city, as a Tremere, not to have this place warded.
Okay. Fair
Okay.
point.
Don't get me wrong. I wouldn't want to go outside right now, because whatever it is probably out there and causing an issue. But as for in this room, I wouldn't panic so much.
Okay. That's very fair. Can only apologise to what's going to happen to the place I once called home.
I'm not taking any apologies, because we aren't finished. Points directly at you, Elizabeth. Murdering a family of mortals, coming out covered in blood, and actively displaying disciplines on camera is a staking. So we ain't finished. Are we clear?
Understood.
But for the moment, more pressing matters to deal with.
Much more pressing.
Malachi,
Yes.
what do you know about what's happening?
So, essentially, from what I was telling you earlier, back when I was the shadowy kind, and I threw my name away,
Mm-hmm.
a creature is now summoned when my old name is spoken aloud, and that creature is likely wreaking havoc all across your town.
Well, this sounds like a whole lot of your three's problem.
It does. The thing is, how much of Doncaster will be left standing if we don't deal with it now? Because
No, that's what I mean. This is your three's problem.
I understand.
I'm going to make this incredibly clear, incredibly crystal, that people do not mistake what I'm about to say. Kill that thing, or don't come back. And by don't come back, I mean I will make sure that within the entire of Yorkshire, provided parts of it are still standing, you'll be hunted and just executed in the most horrible way I can think of. Because you've brought this to my doorstep. You, in your carelessness, and I'm sorry, Malachi, but if this was something your past life had, the fact that we're discussing past lives is still something that is kind of alien to me. But if you are the ones responsible for this, and that points over where Lex's corpse is in any way your responsibility as well, you're going to clean it up. Now, I will offer what help I can. I want this to end quickly, painlessly, and then we'll make the discussion about how the masquerade is apparently a chew toy for a puppy.
Good. Then I'll ask for one thing from you. Give
If
me
I
the
can.
gun you have.
He looks at you for a moment. Walks over to the nearby wall. Pulls a painting to one side. Starts undoing part of a safe. There's a click. As from out of it is pulled a beautiful golden-looking pistol.
Fantastic.
He looks at it a few times. Never could find the ammunition. Flips it over, hands it over towards you.
Fantastic. How am I marking that down?
I'm going to assume you're attuning to your bow.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Thought you would. Right. So, if you'll bear with me but a moment. If I actually, we're going to take a break, I think, for 5 minutes.
Yep, fair.
Okay.
So the room you are currently in is a reasonably large function room, which has a variety of kindred sort of pondering about it. The Banu Hakim and the Nosferatu seem to be going about some level of preparing and loading and arranging weaponry. The prince has just returned back to his throne and has pulled a book out that he started slowly leafing through. He appears to have said what he's going to say. For a moment, he does look, however, up and has a think. Just left. Alex, are you shadow walking right now?
Yes, Your Majesty.
Then do your duty. We'll count these as a new coterie. Babysit them for me.
Of course, Your Majesty.
I'll let you describe him however you choose to. However, the one thing I will say is you basically step out of the shadows of the throne.
Yes. So, think of a very bureaucratic-looking, kind of thin man. Not very physically intimidating, but has some sort of confidence to his wiry frame, which is slightly unnerving for someone that wiry to be that confident amongst so many stronger-looking people. Is in a very kind of blacky, kind of faded, almost grey suit with a white shirt and black tie and spectacles. It's almost more of some sort of executive business, maybe contract dealer, than actually some sort of menacing threat. Has very kind of like modern looking hair. It's not really style, but it's cut in a kind of modern looking kind of style. But kind of just unremarkable as a whole.
Yeah.
Right. Well,
You have the room
onwards.
to yourselves, effectively. But you are basically required some level of tooling up and some time amongst yourself to get to know each other. I'm going to leave the rest of the session to that because going out there right now, you don't have time to fight that thing.
Yep.
No.
Not for this session.
No.
So I'll leave this to you.
Okay. Now we have some time to ourselves. I immediately run to Alyssa and pick her up. Give her a big hug.
Can't fight it again. I can't do this again. Not again. Not again. He's gonna kill us all.
Not this time. Not this time. It's different this time. Trust me. Come back. And I'm not going to die again without saying this, Alyssa. I love you. And I have from the second that I realised when everything was burning, and I leapt through those flames because I knew that I didn't even know why at the time, but I know now. Because it's been destiny from the start.
I'm
But
so
I'm not just
sorry. I'm so sorry.
It's okay. It's okay. Living like that wasn't living. It wasn't. Okay?
I love you so much.
And just silence. Everyone else can do what they want to do, but
Elizabeth is going to check the room for anything we can tool up with.
Can one be of assistance, Madame Gangrel?
Mm. In what way?
Well, it is my duty to make sure that certain occurrences aren't repeated, so I will offer my assistance to you in whatever manner would be best suited.
Okay. The basics is we are about to go fight a very large, incredibly powerful being. Think werewolf, think bigger.
Then to fight a werewolf, you use silver. So what do you use to fight this creature?
That is the question. I have only seen it once, and it threw us. Well, it threw us into another realm, is the easiest way I can describe it.
I see.
It destroyed my best friends, one of whom had an incredibly powerful sword that it then desecrated said church with. And, well, the church and said sword are now rubble. I don't know if we can get said sword back. I don't know what will damage it. All I know is that it is a power unlike any have seen.
I must interrupt you there, Madame Gangrel. You seem to be speaking in riddles there.
I have no way of describing said beast.
I see. No, what about the sword you were referencing?
A magical sword.
I
A sword
see.
that my lady friend Alyssa there wields.
And you say this item is lost, yes.
Well, last I saw it, it was embedded into the altar of said church.
Would it not be wise to assume it is still at said church?
Well, considering the church's current...
But is this...
So unless the prince's servants, group, ghouls, whatever he has, have managed to excavate it incredibly quickly, I think that sorts out the question.
It is perhaps something that can be visited at a future date.
So,
Do you not agree?
yes. So the question is, how do we deal with said beastie that's out there right now?
Perhaps we should speak to Malachi on this matter, since he seems to have abilities beyond understanding.
Malachi, how do we deal with it?
okay. The church is rubble.
Mm-hmm.
The sword is in the church.
Yep.
I can only do so much in regards to that. I can. Well, before you were mentioning an excavation team. I could actually channel the will of the unconquered sun into them right now. They would work faster than any mortals have worked before.
Okay, that works for later. But how do we deal with the large beastie that's out there first?
Oh, the large beastie that's out there. See, I didn't know how to deal with him the first time, but I honestly feel considerably more powerful right now. When I was attacking him, he seemed to feed off of the pain.
Right.
He feeds from pain, so what we need to do is make sure that it's clean. Just see what I'm telling you. We need to go all guns blazing.
Right. Okay.
Pretty instantly.
So,
because this thing shouldn't exist, and it can't exist for much longer.
So, shy from strapping a bunch of armor to myself and strapping a nuke to my head and headbutting it, I've got no ideas.
Let us not remember that the
think
masquerade must be kept.
The masquerade has been shattered repeatedly at this point in time.
Yes, but it's not beyond fixing. Nothing is beyond fixing the right measures.
I mean, to be fair.
Well, one or two ways. There is a gigantic demon rampaging out there right now. I think anything that we do to destroy it is not going to raise people's awareness of the supernatural any more than they've already been raised by its very existence.
That one is easy enough to fool. All camera trickery. Say it was a film. But it's not going to help if we can't first kill said being.
Precisely. It needs to be gone before any of these things can be placed into motion.
You spoke a moment ago about it last time, so this creature has manifested before and not stayed around. Am I correct?
This creature manifests whenever the forbidden name is spoken.
Ah, I see. Then it does leave.
Eventually, it leaves. What it does before it leaves, however, is not something that any of us would wish to happen on your town.
I see.
You are very lucky that this place is as warded as it is. Your prince is a wise man.
Our
A
prince
wise
is,
vampire, should I say.
yes, our prince is very skilled in many things.
Precisely. And that is the reason that we're all still alive rather than the demon manifesting within this building. And given that you are kindred, you might last perhaps more than 3 or 4 minutes at the maximum life expectancy. So this is not something we can simply wave a hand at and it will go away. I wish that were the case. What we can do is make preparations.
I do not wish to pry, but it is my
Thinking
job.
right now. Has it worked for Lex?
Hmm?
We need as much power as we can get, right?
Yes.
That's pure exalted blood on the floor, yes?
That is correct.
It worked for Lex.
As much as I can
Wait, what are we doing?
As much as I look inside myself and think that this is a bad idea, we're really out of options. Go for it.
Screw it.
Wait.
I'm going to drink what's left of Lex's blood.
Elizabeth,
All
wait.
of it. What, Alyssa?
Too late. You said you're drinking the blood.
Speaking at the same time she's going for it. Takes a
So
few seconds.
we're turning Lex's remaining body into a Capri Sun. That's what I'm hearing.
Alyssa has spoken just as Elizabeth's starting to move. She will stop and turn to Alyssa.
I stand between Elizabeth and the corpse.
Elizabeth,
Come on, Alyssa.
what?
Mm-hmm.
What happened to Lex was just a fluke accident. We don't know that. We don't know that that blood is going to do anything to you. It might kill you for all we know.
Where I stand now, though, I'm due either a staking for breaking the masquerade, or death by the large demon thing outside.
It does seem like you're trapped between death and death.
I also remind you you're a guest of His Majesty, and such courses of actions upon whatever you're describing might happen may not be best suited as a way of paying tribute to your host.
The host is actually sat in his chair, looking forward at this scene with interest. Just
What would you say?
watching it somewhat occur.
How do we
Hasn't
get
said anything,
enough power to deal with what's outside? I
Well,
have no idea. Again, my ideas was short of strap a nuke to something and hit it with a nuke. I'm sure that's a really bad idea. These are not my usual circumstances. Usually used to dealing with large sums of money, how to get them to the right places.
If you wish to do what you're describing that you wish to do, first you will at least consult His Majesty for permission.
Sorry, I do forget my manners. This is a time-pressing issue. We have a large demon thing outside. Your Majesty?
He takes a moment, just looks over the scene. Full looking back at you. I'm not so sure it is the wisest course of action, shall we say. You do not know what it'll do.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, looks over at Alex, looking back. I'd be intrigued to see.
Well,
However, there are some caveats if that is the case.
okay.
If you drink from that body and take on whatever power there is from it, you will bloodbind to me first.
Ooh. Could I please use motive discerning technique?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
That's 2 motes of power. I learned the hidden motivations of somebody that I'm having a conversation with.
You want to learn the prince's motives?
Yep.
100% wants the keys to the nuclear detonation device, doesn't want it using on them.
Okay. No other... Yep.
Basically, he's seen what a solar exalted can do. He does not know what's coming out of the next time one of these things is created, and 100% doesn't want it using on him or his city.
Understood. I don't say anything to anyone.
So... I really am being left with no option today. Staking, death by big demon thing, or bloodbind and try get some more power. Well, why would I use this on what I used to call my home? I still see as my home in any negative way, but if we must do this,
If that is the case, and you agree to do this, then, well, let us begin the blood bonding then. Alex, present your wrist.
Your Majesty, I roll up my shoot sleeve and present my wrist.
I am of Clan Tremere. We cannot bloodbind people. I must bloodbind you to the one who I trust the most out of this equation. I would have chosen Malachi when I eventually got around to embracing him, but as Malachi is no longer on the table, so to speak, it shall have to be one of my court.
I understand.
And the Banu Hakim have issues with giving blood.
I understand. Take
And
just
drink from Alex here.
Yep, Elizabeth takes just enough for that first point.
All right, you draw on the blood, filling your veins with vitae. You take just the 1 point, I assume.
Yep.
Then after that,
Capri
you start to feel
Sun
very warm towards Alex, like, close friend.
Okay.
And you're descending on Lex's corpse, yes?
Yep, Capri Sun time.
Okay, you drinking it all?
Yep.
All right.
Here we go.
She wasn't.
There is a sudden stillness to the air. The sound of dripping water seems to just be pervading the entire room. Then that of crushing gravel. Then all of a sudden, Elizabeth's hand catches fire.
Back
Then
up,
another
back
hand.
up, back up, back up.
Do all the vampires have to make a frenzy check?
Everyone is moving the fuck out of the way. They're not giving themselves time. Elizabeth's arms start to light. The body of Lex just immolates like dry leaves as there is this sudden burst of power. Elizabeth, in your head, your eyes are burning, your skin is cooking, you feel like you are in absolute agony before swimming in front of your vision, staring at you is that of a large, snake-like elemental dragon that just says, "You."
Yes.
And that is where I'm going to end tonight's session, because any more and I'll be giving stuff away.